In a world where Shady orders pizza right before CrashCast, hoping to have it following, and it shows up 2 hours before it's scheduled, this is CrashCast.
With Angry Shady.
With an angry Shady, that's right. I am so angry right now. And it's not just because my pizza showed up literally right before we were getting ready to record, even though I requested it 3 different times to be here at 4:30. There's a whole lot of other stuff behind that has made me mad. But nonetheless, welcome
pizza
to...
was supposed to make you happy.
It
failed.
It failed. It was supposed to make me happy, and I was going to sit here and watch the Buckeye game later and enjoy my pizza and my Buckeyes stomping of whomever they're playing because it's a Little House on the Prairie. But no. Kind of ruined my whole afternoon and evening, and I got to not let it bother me.
Pizza drama is dramatic.
Never has pizza upset someone so much.
Yes. Never before. So, this is this episode 6 already, guys? I don't even remember.
Counting is hard.
Counting is hard. I think this is 6. It might be 5. I don't know. I think it's 6. I'm going to call it episode 6. If it's not, we'll record episode 5 next time. How's that sound?
Sounds very confusing.
Sounds very confusing. All right. So this is episode 6, and I guess I'll start off with you, Crystal. What have you been playing?
I haven't been playing too much. I've been just now getting back into commentating and making videos. Well, I guess I've been playing a little bit of Black Ops 2 to get some footage, but that's really been about it lately.
Callum?
I bought Chrono Cross on the PlayStation Store the other day.
Ooh.
Yeah, the RPG by Squaresoft. Before they were Square Enix, I think. Yeah, it's really good. It's like Final Fantasy VIII, but I'm kind of enjoying it more than that. So, yeah. What about you?
What?
Interesting. Nice.
All right.
Well, other than a little bit of Madden, and that might be it. I haven't played really anything. I've been busy with some news I'm not quite ready to share yet, and also some family stuff that went on. And other than probably 3 or 4 games of Madden, I haven't really played anything since we last did a cast.
Oh, I remember what else I was playing. NHL 14.
Oh, is that
I downloaded
good?
the demo. It's so good.
Is it
It's
good?
So much fun. I've only recently got into hockey, but it's fucking awesome.
Okay.
It's so good.
I love the hockey games. They are so good, but it's just like every year I get it, and like it's not what I want to be, but I don't know what I want it to be. So I'm disappointed by not knowing what I want it to be, and it just always falls a little bit short. But I think I have like '09 or something is the most recent copy that I have. I should probably update that on the PS4. I'll probably get each sports game for the PS4 when they come out. But yes.
Yeah, it looks really good on PS3, so it must look a lot better on PS4.
I'm excited for Madden on the PS4, to be perfectly honest. I'm going to get that probably around Christmas time.
So they've called it Madden 25.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because it's the 25th anniversary.
Correct.
Is it? But what's next year's going to be called?
Probably Madden 14 or, well, Madden 15, probably.
So when they get, 10 years down the line or so, are they going to call it Madden 25 again?
Maybe, but it'll be the apostrophe 25, not the 25th anniversary Madden.
Okay.
Because it's technically Madden 2013, Madden 2014, but they abbreviate it and put the apostrophe in, if you ever notice.
No, I don't, because I haven't really cared about the Madden games.
So yeah, that's what it is. It's never Madden number 14 or whatever. It's the year, but they after 2000 they put the apostrophe in. And they've done that 2000 through 2013, and then this year 2014 season, they did 25 because they wanted to screw with everyone's brains. But it looks really awesome, and I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, it just looks it's going to confuse people next year when the next one comes out, like parents or something, when they're looking through and they see in Madden 12, Madden 13, and then they're looking for Madden 14 or 15 or whatever. But then they see 25 is also out, and they think that's the new one.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know if that's going to happen. It probably will.
Probably. I don't know. Parents are stupid. So moving along to our news topics, we have a handful of news topics here. The first one's one I'm personally very excited about. It's the news that came out that the PS4 controller will be compatible with PC. I'm fired up about this as someone who has a laptop and no desk and is terrible with a keyboard and a mouse for a just long list of reasons. I'm kind of excited because it'll make gaming easier for me on the PC. I have 4 or 5 games on here that are just unplayable because I don't have a desk.
I'm just waiting for some actual confirmed news about it. Like, I want it to be true because it was said at PAX by a developer, but at the same time, no one else has actually covered it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I guess everyone's using dev kits with PCs anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe that's skewing something.
I don't know, but apparently it wasn't confirmed if it works via Bluetooth. It's just going to be USB. But I want to know if the touchpad will actually work.
Dude, if that would be sick.
I mean, if you could use the touchpad to map mouse movement, then this would become the ultimate PC controller.
I can't see why they wouldn't add in, that you can use it on PC, because they must have taken note of how popular the Xbox 360 controller is for PC gamers. And really, that's the only kind of controller on the market. I know you can get like Razer controllers and stuff like that, but a lot of people, because they already own Xbox 360s, they just using them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it probably will be. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't make it so.
It'll be interesting. I'll have to let everyone know if actual news comes out about it.
Please do. And then next, the Pikachu Illustrator card is on eBay for, what was that, $100,000?
$100,000.
That is a lot of money.
Yes, and what is cool about it is the fact that the guy that sells it, he never sells cards unless he has a double. So this guy has 2 of these things.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'd never sell my Charizard. Like, I got that in my first ever pack of Pokemon cards.
What?
So I wouldn't sell it, just sentimental value.
I
I
would
wouldn't trade it for one of these either, even if I could sell this card on afterwards.
I would
So-
still have my Charizard, Venusaur, and Blastoise if a certain someone hadn't stolen them out of my deck and then taken my deck 2 weeks later.
Wow.
I got my Charizard. I had my mom
Sick
bought me my
bastard.
Charizard for Christmas one year. It was $45 she paid for it, and someone who shall remain nameless stole it.
Crystal.
No, someone who I can't actually prove it because I didn't see them do it, but I left to go be with my dad for a weekend. The card was here in my deck when I left. I came back, my deck was all over the floor, and all 3 of those cards were missing. And
That's when you find out it was your mum that did it.
that's the only person that was here at the time and was in my room. So I'm still a little salty about that too, if you can't tell. And I've never been able to get a first edition set of the 3 back for a reasonable amount of money. Every time I see a first edition Charizard, they want hundreds of dollars, and I'm like, I don't want to pay that, and I can't pay that.
Well, the only thing is they're going to keep going up in price.
Right. So I'll
And
probably
up and up.
I'll never have a first edition Charizard ever again, and it makes me sad.
It's very
Yeah,
depressing.
unless you get super rich. You win a Powerball or something.
Maybe that'll never happen though. I don't play the lottery.
You should then.
Yeah, maybe I should.
First time he starts playing and then he actually wins, I would
Yeah,
beat
exactly.
you up.
If I first time I played and I actually won, I would probably not share any of the money, and I would just be like, you know what, this is for all the doubters and haters out there.
I would find you.
Yeah,
I
you
would
should
find you
buy
and
us-
I would hurt you.
You should buy us Team Charizards.
yeah,
So we can have our own.
yeah,
Everyone matching jackets.
yes. And then we'll all carry Charizard cards in our pocket.
Yeah, we'll have like business card flip holder things,
Yes,
like to try and get in places for free.
yes.
You just let me in. I've got Charizard. Come on.
So the next kind of news topic we have here, Crystal, you know more about this probably than I do because I just kind of basically read the very fine print. Microsoft boosts the CPU on the Xbox One.
Yes, I don't really know much about this one though. Actually, I never really heard about it.
I saw about it earlier today, but that was it. The only thing is, PS4 have not released yet their clock speed for the CPU.
Huh.
We know they're using the same 8-core AMD processor, but they haven't yet released the clock speed. So, but apparently a PS4 is going to have a better GPU anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know,
I honestly think it's just kind of funny that people are making comparisons with these tiny little tidbits of information.
Mm-hmm.
Like it makes
Exactly.
it makes a huge difference.
Right.
to be honest, they're both next gen. They're going to be running the same games, apart from exclusives. So it's not going to make the least bit of difference, to be honest. I would
Wow.
think.
I don't know. I think the only thing that Xbox One has over the PS4 is the fact that it's supposed to be a water cooler. Don't shoot me, fanboys.
X-Boys. Can they have the X-Boy for their fanboy name, and we can be the Playboys?
I don't want to be a playboy.
We'll be the Playboys.
I just pictured that in my head, and I feel really bad. I'm sorry, Crystal.
Aw, damn it.
I'm such a terrible person. But moving along, I guess kind of our last news topic for today that we wanted to touch on briefly was that the Humble Bundle raised quite a bit of money for charity. A lot of people got some really awesome games, and I just thought, good on EA after all the crap they've done and not done over the last several years. Good on them. I give you a golf clap, sir.
It's just the Humble Bundle in general. It's a really good thing.
Yeah.
The fact you get bonuses for paying above the average price that people are paying, because it's encouraging people. It's encouraging people to spend more for charity, but you get something back out of it. So
I really wish they'd start doing it on console.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that'd be really good.
What would be, I think, really cool is if say EA did this thing where they would package last year's unpurchased new games, like what are there, 4 of them, I think: soccer, hockey, American football, and basketball. Well, there wasn't basketball last year, but if they purchased like the previous year's games and said, okay, well, if you buy this package, you pay $25 or whatever, and half the money goes to charity or whatever.
Yeah,
I think that would be kind of cool. But
I think it'll become a bigger incentive soon. What with the next gen consoles kind of leading the way with the digital way of purchasing games.
Yeah.
And then probably the consoles after that will probably be mostly digital. I'd imagine we'll be getting there.
Yeah.
It's going to become a bigger thing on consoles, definitely.
Even though it makes me sad. I'd like to negotiate a way to where, like, yes, I'll download the game digitally, but just send me a nice, pretty case with box art and a disc that says I bought the game, and I'll
so I can display it on my bookshelf.
So I can just display it on my shelf.
So it doesn't have to be anything on the disc. It can be a blank disc.
Yeah, it can literally be a disc that all it has is the startup to the downloadable file. To run the downloadable file. I don't even care if the game is on the disc. Just please send me something to put on my shelf to make my shelf look pretty and full.
Well, the thing is, they could just put keys on them. Like, you have to put your disc in to play the game. And then that gets away, it gets away from paying, because you paid less for the disc. I would guess they can maybe bring the pricing down because they're not putting them on Blu-rays. They only have to put them on standard, like, whatever size.
That's not the big price point. The price point is probably the shipping, and to send a thin slip of cardboard versus sending a half-inch thick game case is probably much, much less. I mean, you can send one box with enough games to last somebody for like a decade versus sending one box that'll last them 2 weeks, especially on a game like Call of Duty.
If they brought the sizes down to what they were for PlayStation 1 and like CD sizes, which they used to be, the cost for packaging would be pretty much halved, surely.
Maybe.
It's pretty much half the size of a DVD case. They're never going to do it because they're the same size as DVDs. And more people buy DVDs than CDs probably, although people download both just as much as the other probably.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay. Yeah, well, we went on a little tangent there, but I guess starting with our topics for this episode, Callum, you wanted to bring up the 2DS, and you want to talk about that, and so go ahead and spill.
Okay, so Nintendo 2DS, it's the new low-cost, like, entry-level handheld console from Nintendo. It's going to play Nintendo 3DS and DS games, but it doesn't have any 3D functionality. So it's essentially a 3DS without the 3D, but you can still play the games. That's to stop younger children hurting their eyes on it, and it's a gimmick that's kind of run its course now, 3D anyway, I think. So it means they can keep the price point down, and it will not have the clamshell design anymore. You won't be able to fold it. It looks much more like, as Crystal was saying earlier, a piece of bread. It's like a wedge shape. It looks a bit more like a tablet kind. That's how you would hold it. It doesn't look huge. People are saying it looks huge, but it's just the size of a folded out 3DS.
Mhm.
It's only got the same size screens as the 3DS, not the 3DS XL. So that's going to put a few people off probably, because I have a friend he has a 3DS, but he would up it to a 3DS XL in a heartbeat if he had the money, just because the screen is a lot bigger and apparently a lot better quality. And the prices are going to be about $130 and £110, which is roughly $30 to $40 cheaper than the 3DS.
Mhm.
So it's good. It's been marketed towards 4 to 7 year olds. So they've clearly they're onto something, because it's a lot sturdier, it's cheaper. Some people say it looks cheap, it looks plasticky, but these are the people that haven't actually held it. People who have held it have said that it's very sturdy. So yeah, it's just another part of the market that they're cashing in on, with a lot of children kind of playing their parents' tablets nowadays, picking up their iPads and playing Angry Birds and stuff like that. The fact that you hold it like a tablet's going to do well, and it's being released on 12th of October, which is the exact same day as Pokemon X and Y, so I'm sure that's going to help.
Mhm.
I think
What do
it
you
would have
think,
been.
guys?
I would have taken it a lot more seriously if they had dropped the price down to maybe something like 99. I mean, if you're going to target young kids, then the price needs to kind of match that, I think.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
I'm kind of torn down the middle of it. I mean, I like the idea, but at the same time, I visually can't see 3D on my 3DS, but I can turn it off, no problem.
yeah, well, that's what a lot of people have been saying on Reddit, which is a place I frequent often. There's a lot of people sounding entitled that this isn't catered to them. People who maybe already have 3DSs, or maybe just they might want to get one, but they're like, oh, it doesn't fold. How is this any good? It doesn't fold. There's no 3D. You can already turn 3D off. It's not catered towards you. It's
Right.
catered to young children, and I don't see how people don't understand that Nintendo's a business, and they're trying to cash in on other parts of the market. They're not catering to 18-year-old college students.
Right.
So it's the same thing that I think has happened with the next-gen consoles and the Xbox One, is a lot of people feel entitled that they're the only consumer for it. It's got to be catered to them. But it's always going to happen with people who are spending, $100 or so. They feel like they want it, and it should be exactly how they want it. But the simple fact is, it's not for you. If you want to buy a 3DS that folds, buy a 3DS. You can get a second-hand one for pretty cheap.
I think
Cheaper
they
than
just see the price drop, and they want to buy all the capabilities with that price, but they still want all of the really nice stuff that you could get for the more expensive price.
Exactly.
Mhm.
A lot of people are saying, oh, what about a compromise? No 3D, but it can fold. But that's not the point. The point is that kids can't break the hinge, which is, it's sucky. But I'm tempted to get one, if not for the fact I could probably pick up a 3DS XL for that much more secondhand, and I'd want the bigger screens over the non-2D,
Well, see,
3D rather.
I probably would have bought it if I had waited to buy the 3DS and then waited for the 2DS to release. I probably would consider buying it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm torn down the middle about it, honestly.
Yeah, well, I'm not a big handheld gamer. I know you have a 3DS, don't you? So, like just said, so do you play yours often?
Not anymore.
No?
No,
See,
see,
that's the thing.
I think the last handheld that I really, really played was the Game Boy Color, and that was just for Pokemon.
Woo! I still play mine regularly. In fact, all those trips to Portsmouth, I logged some serious hours in Pokemon Yellow. Some serious hours. I got my guys up to level 60.
My childhood.
Yes. Right in the
I never had
feels.
anything more than a Game Boy. It was like a small one where you could see through to the circuitry. It was clear plastic.
Mm-hmm.
I had one of them, but I didn't have anything other than that. I did win a Nintendo DSi, like within the last year, but I sold that straight away.
I had the purple see-through Game Boy Color. I think that if Nintendo decided to bring back the Game Boy, hint hint, wink wink,
Nudge, nudge.
I'd throw all of my money at them and then probably have a seizure because I was so excited.
The reissue.
Yeah, I think they should. I think it would be amazing.
It would be a great move for them to do that.
They'll never do it, but
They'd never do it. Well, it looks kind of like a Game Boy, the 2DS.
if you like bread.
Yes. Game bread.
That's what they should have called it, the Game Bread.
I'd buy it just for that.
Nintendo move.
You'd see me walking down the street. Crystal, what are you doing? I'm gnawing on my game bread.
Yeah.
But anyway, now that I look like an absolute retard, let's move on.
Let's move on.
So the next topic was something that I was thinking about. It was kind of spawned. I like to hang out at GameStop a lot because I'm sometimes bored and don't have anything to do, and I just want to get out of the house or whatever. And so there was this dad that was literally giving the GameStop employee the 5th degree on this game that he was thinking about buying for his son. His son was probably, if I had to take a shot in the dark, I'd guess 11 or 10. Not maybe early middle school. Just, 11 or 10 years old. And he was getting him Army of Two, or was thinking about getting him Army of Two. And he's grilling the guy whose name is Aaron, and Aaron's telling him, well, here's what's in the game. They say some occasional bad stuff and whatnot, and yada, yada, yada. And all of that kind of got me inspired to think immediately that the ESRB, the Electronic Ratings Board for all video games, doesn't do a good enough job detailing what's in a game and what parents should be concerned about. So then I did some research online and found out that, hey, actually they do. And if you go to their website, you can type any game just about, and they will list what is said, what happens in the game, the synopsis of the game, and any potentially concerning plot points for parents. And I thought, well, this is great. They need an app. They don't have an app. And you know what? They do have an app. They have an app that's pretty good, actually. I actually downloaded it from my phone. And I was just wanting to mention this because I'm back. Where was I before my internet decided to go kill itself? I was telling the story about the ESRB and how basically they're doing a great job, but their marketing department sucks. Because I'm a hardcore gamer. Granted, I'm not a parent, but no one seems to know about this app, and I think it's a great resource for parents. And this is coming from someone who is against all forms of censorship, including censoring your kids from just about anything. But I think it's a great asset, and I think it's a great opportunity for parents to be more aware, because I'm tired of people blaming video games for things when it's obviously the parents can shield their kids from having any game they want. They can throw the game out. They can hide the game. They can take all their kids' money and not let them buy games. But at the end of the day, that's what that all comes down to, is that parents just ignore these great resources. And maybe some of it's on the ESRB and that they're not out there campaigning, be like, hey, parents, worried about what your kid's playing video games about? Well, we can tell you what's in the game, what they say, and what they do. I mean, the rating system was so good that they had the number of times that an F-bomb was dropped, and they gave approximations for, like, other words. Like, oh, the S word is said approximately a handful of times throughout the game.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's ignorance or just
negligence.
Well, it's probably a little of both, some combination too. But I just thought I would take this forum, this pedestal that we have, and just say, if you're a parent and you're worried about what your kids are playing, ESRB has a great website and great app, and they have details for just about any game your kid can want, and they actually release the information before the games come out.
Even other than that, though, I mean, you should have enough common sense to look on a game case and see that it's rated M for mature.
Right. And, I mean, on the back of a game case, though, it'll say, like, blood and violence and gore. But
right.
But there's a difference between, say, a Call of Duty M and a, what was that game? I'm blanking. Not Borderlands, but it was a game like Borderlands. I have it over here on the shelf. Let me look. Bulletstorm. There's a distinct difference between Bulletstorm and Call of Duty. Call of Duty is a much more realistic game, but I would say Bulletstorm has more gore, more body parts flying through the air, and more bad language.
I'd say, well, I mean, I
So
only played the Bulletstorm demo,
I mean,
but it was still a cartoony kind of gore,
right. So
obviously.
if you're a parent and you're worried about, well, okay, a handful of cuss words isn't that bad, but if it's every other word, that's a problem. So that would be where strong language would apply in both games, but you wouldn't get that level of detail unless you went to the ESRB website, or you happen to be there when someone like me who has played the game can be like, there was a good fair amount of cussing in that one, or there wasn't really that much that I remember.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I couldn't care less what parents want to do for their own kids, because I can't tell one parent what to do because I'm not a parent. So
Right.
I'm not sure of the trials and tribulations of being a parent. All I know is if I was, I wouldn't buy my kid Grand Theft Auto if they were under the age of at least 13, or my kid grew up quite mature. I think I was quite mature around 12 or 13, enough to know that it was a video game with fantasy violence and that kind of thing.
And that mimicking it in real life
Exactly.
is bad.
Leads to real consequences like death, destruction, and jail time.
Exactly. But Surgeon Simulator has not made me a surgeon. I tried that one in the hospital. It didn't work. So
I'm going to try that. I'm going to go down to the hospital and be like, hey, what surgeries do you need me to do today? I'm an expert in Surgeon Simulator.
I can do it.
I got all A's on everything.
Exactly. And it's,
I'm going to go try that.
I saw it on Reddit that a guy took it upon himself in a line at GameStop, I think it was, to tell the woman in front who a 10-year-old was begging her to pre-order GTA 5 and she was going to do it. He told her, do you know what's in this game? It's called Grand Theft Auto, for God's sake. You would think it's about crime, at least.
Really?
And then she said, thank you, I'm not going to pre-order this for my son now. She walked out and apparently the kid was crying. But why is it taking someone in the queue at the shop to tell her? Why aren't the employees doing it more?
Well, no. In one instance, she did. This woman I'm talking to did ask the employee,
Yeah.
but sometimes I happen to see a woman who's looking at a game and she's got this uneasy look on her face, and if I happen to know the game with any sort of solid footing, I'll mention something to her. But I think a lot of times parents just don't ask, and they go, "Well, how bad can this be?" It doesn't look bad on the cover or whatnot, but I just wanted to throw this out there to say they have a great website, they have a great app, and please check it out if you're a parent or thinking about becoming a parent and you think your kid might be into video games or is into video games.
Yeah, well,
because it's awesome.
People who take their kids to see R-rated movies, it would be lame. You can't change a parent once they get into that habit. They're going to buy their kid whatever, especially if it shuts them up and they get an afternoon free of the kid. I think that's how a lot of people look at it.
Yeah.
It's babysitting the child.
I wonder if this actually demonstrates the youth of the video game scene in general. That the fact that video games have always kind of been integrated with a kid. You know, video games have always been child's play, so I kind of wonder if that really does show the general youth of the video game industry, considering that now we're getting into a more developed process where we can create more mature content and these parents just aren't educated.
Yeah. My mom didn't know what I was playing when I was 15. Had no clue. I mean, she knew from the time I was about 8 until I was about 11 or 12, but after that she didn't know what I was playing. I could have been playing murder, death, whatever, and she would have never known.
Sounds great. 5 out of 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Next AAA title.
At the age of 15, I think most people are mature enough at the age of 14 onwards, but you do hear squeakers on Call of Duty that you think, oh, they shouldn't be playing this, it's an M. But it's as realistic as it might be, it's still very arcadey in that sense. And
yeah,
I don't agree with people when they say, oh, these kids shouldn't be playing it, because at the end of the day, it's a video game, and as long as it's stopping them going out and getting involved in gang warfare or that kind of shit, then I'd rather they were playing Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I think that has more to do with mental stability than anything else, though.
Exactly. It's, you're never going to stop that. It's not video games that do it. It's going to happen eventually. Somebody's going to cut in line. Somebody's going to accidentally bump into them on the street. It could set anybody off. Well, it's not going to set anybody off, but it could set them off.
Right.
Rather than playing Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, Yeah, go download the app if you're a parent and you're worried. If not, ignore me. Moving along, one of the topics that Crystal you had brought up, you had talked about this a little bit on your blog, was whether or not Complexity had been cheating by changing their settings. And I was kind of interested in this in that, well, if it's really cheating, then they probably would be stripped. But there seems to be some concern as to whether or not they're not. I don't think they're denying what they did, but there seems to be some argument over whether or not what they did should be considered cheating or not.
Well, I think first of all, for the ones listening that don't really understand who Complexity is, Complexity is a pro Call of Duty team that plays professionally for money. And apparently at events, they were changing whatever these Xbox dashboard settings were to help with aim assist. And because of that, they think, I mean, even other teams have accused them of cheating. And I don't know, I think it's kind of ridiculous personally.
What do you specifically do you think is ridiculous?
I think the fact that they're trying to blame this team for using settings that they could just as easily go into and change as well. I mean, if these settings were available just to Complexity, then yeah, I may be able to understand that. But anyone can go into these settings and change them and then admit that there's a difference.
What exactly are they changing?
They're changing difficulty level on the dashboard, which allegedly makes aim assist better. There's a video on Crystal's blog that was a good video that he went into what they were changing and kind of demonstrated it. To me, it didn't look any different, but I didn't have my hand on the controller, and I've always said what looks can be deceiving when it comes to a game. Tell me how it really feels.
Yeah, I would say wait for Drifter to do a video on it, but he's a staff member of MVS, so I doubt he's going to weigh in on this.
Yeah. So, I mean, having said that, to me, it's on one level, I don't think it's dishonest, but I mean, everyone's going to be looking for an edge. So now every Call of Duty team is going to do this if it's not against the rules, and then it's going to wipe it out. So it doesn't matter. The thing that'll
mind games.
Yeah, it's mind games. And
well, actually, Clayster released a statement. I can read it off for you guys if you want.
Go for it.
He said, just to touch on a few things, we first made up these settings as a joke to mess with other pro players at PAX. We started showing them how setting your game default campaign setting to easy made the game easy. People failed to realize that we were doing this purely as a form of entertainment and also to get inside other players' minds and make them think there's some grand conspiracy, when in actuality it doesn't affect anything.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, unless this is more mind games.
That's true too. You never know.
We've got to delve deeper.
Yeah, I'd love to see Drifter be like, well, this is how much it changes, and it changes by 0.04%. So technically, they weren't cheating, but they were, but they weren't, but they were. But they weren't.
Yeah.
But they were.
I think this is just one of those things where you can just make up your own opinion about it and then move on. It's not really that big of a deal.
Yeah, to me, Complexity, I don't give two craps about MLG anything other than sometimes it's fun to watch some teams play scrubs or whatever, or scrubs pubs, but I don't care for the competitive scene. Never have.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
Scuff controllers are legal in MLG, aren't they? Or are they?
I think they can use them.
Yeah. So it's going to be like that. Everyone's going to do this now, regardless of whether it does anything, because if they're not putting it on, they feel like they're missing out, even if it's doing nothing.
I think it makes them believe that they're on an equal ground if they use it.
Yeah. Even if it's a placebo effect, though, is that still, would that then be classed as cheating? I guess if it's changing the way you play, even if it's not actually doing anything, if they just disabled that altogether, I reckon it will be eventually, even if it's doing nothing. They're going to say you can't do that just to be on the safe side. But I don't know.
Mm-hmm. So, moving along to our next to last topic. Crystal, this is one that you were personally excited about. Or one that you're maybe not excited, maybe curious about. The Elder Scrolls Online subscription fee. So tell me your thoughts, because I'm kind of curious how you feel about this. Because I played, Skyrim for like an hour or two, and then we all know the story, and I rage quit, and I've never picked up another Elder Scrolls game again, and I vowed to never do it again. So how do you feel as a avid Elder Scrolls player?
Hey, well, I actually got a tweet that kind of is the epitome of the opinion that everyone else is kind of giving. So I'll read that all first, and then I'll give you mine. But I got a tweet from Chris Etling at Chris Etling 28M on Twitter, who is awesome, because he is awesome. And he said, personally, I think it's a shame subscription MMOs are going the way of the dinosaur. It's a question of when free to play, not if. And that seems to be the mindset of the majority of people. But I think I have a bit of a different opinion, considering that I come from a more console-oriented game type than other people, because you have to think, if you're playing it on console, you have to pay like $400 for the console, plus $60 for the new game, plus however much it is for PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live or whatever it is, plus the $15 subscription fee every month.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot of money to shell out.
Yep.
It is.
So, I don't
Do we
know.
know exactly how much new content there's going to be every month, or in the way of will you get expansion packs for free if you're paying this much?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what kind of deals they may include with all of that. I just know that the reason that they're slapping on this subscription fee was so they could produce more quality content.
Which is fair enough. If people are willing to pay it, though.
Yeah, I mean, on PC, it probably wouldn't be that much of a deal. I mean, World of Warcraft has been successful for what seems like centuries with their subscription fees, but I don't know. I think
They're dying
it's just, out. Yeah, they are too. And I mean, it's just a different concept, considering now that we're also including consoles into the mix. It's not just PC gaming anymore.
Yeah. When I read it, I saw someone say, MMO fans don't have a problem, they're rejoicing. Elder Scrolls fans are really kicking themselves because, the MMO fans are used to paying these subscription fees. Elder Scrolls fans never had to do it before. You buy the game, you got it. You might want to buy expansions or the horse armor pack for Oblivion. If you're dumb enough. But yeah, so I'm not sure how it's going to go. It'll be popular regardless.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Probably. I just don't want to see it go the way of Star Wars: The Old Republic, which the big news about that is they're bringing in a free spaceship flying or something. Free space flight or something.
Oh, really?
That's free to play, yeah. That's the only thing. Whereas, with the subscription fee, the subscription model for Elder Scrolls, it's going to be better content for a longer period.
That's if they can continue to produce that content, though. That's kind of
if
what
they
killed.
can and keep up the numbers, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what killed the Old Republic, because they couldn't.
And it's strange because there's a lot of stuff you could do with a Star Wars universe, a Star Wars MMO, just as there is a lot of stuff in the Elder Scrolls universe. Is it Tamriel? I can't remember what the world is called.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, because there's so much. You've got Daggerfall, Morrowind, you had Oblivion. Is all of that going to be available as the whole world? You play it, don't you? So.
From what I can see, I think, it's going to include a little bit of everything. And but what gets me, and I don't know if I don't want to say too much because I'm not allowed to share, but the way that you play it, they mean it to be an open world environment, but it doesn't really feel that way to me, honestly.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, it seems a little bit linear with the quests that you have to do. So we'll see if that improves over time, but from what I can see, it's supposed to cover a pretty huge span of the world in general.
Yeah, well, I don't think I'll be playing it because apparently Sony pushed for it to be released on console, didn't they? And that's the thing it's subscription fee on console as well.
Yes,
yeah.
I believe so. Yeah, I'd have
is that really like a first for console? Has it been done before?
Well, I mean, just recently with Final Fantasy, right?
Call of Duty had that Elite subscription fee.
Oh yeah.
That didn't even last a year.
Really?
It was the biggest waste of money because I bought it came with Modern Warfare 3 and I paid like I think $90 and being a Call of Duty Elite founding member got you some titles for your system forever, but like it was supposed to get you all this stuff, but no one ever really cared about the stuff it got you, and they were making it out to be this big deal. And I guess I got the wool pulled over my eyes, or missed something. But it wasn't a monthly. It wasn't a monthly fee. It was a yearly fee. But yeah, I did get the DLC for it. Mm-hmm.
And that was included within the price of Elite, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was like the same.
Did it save much?
Huh?
Did it save much money buying it that way?
I think like $10 maybe.
There's no point then.
Yeah, I don't remember why. I did it because I was blindly buying the most expensive Call of Duty because I was such a big Call of Duty fanboy back then.
Yeah. Well, I'd much rather pay a subscription model for a game like Grand Theft Auto 5 online for that to be just expanded like indefinitely
Right.
until the next Grand Theft Auto. Pay for that. I think that would improve the quality of play on Grand Theft Auto 5 online if you had to pay a little bit every month, because at the moment, if it's free, you're going to see a lot of dickheads just fucking you up all the time. I know that can be fun, but I think you're going to see a lot of trolling on that. That wouldn't be there if there was a subscription fee and people had to buy into it. Much the same way that on Twitch, if you put it to subscriber-only mode, the quality of chat goes up phenomenally. But, you know, we'll wait to see if that is ever going to happen in a Grand Theft Auto game. Won't happen this time around, but yeah. Yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Do whatever they want, Elder Scrolls. If they want to charge monthly, that's fine. I'm not going to get it, so.
Me either.
I doubt I will now.
Get it? No?
Probably not.
It's not good enough even though you played the beta.
Well, I mean, it was awesome, but I don't have a PC that's really good enough to play this kind of game. I have to play it on extra low settings, so I don't really get to enjoy it like other people do, so...
May as well play RuneScape.
Yeah, really.
Minesweeper.
It's just as fun. Yeah, Minesweeper.
I'll play some Solitaire.
The way the cards come out at the end, it's amazing.
The graphics are so realistic.
I can do this real deck. So our last topic was one that we saved for the end because I think this is a really interesting topic, and there have been several games like this, but the game that kind of inspired it for you, Crystal, this is your topic that you kind of pushed, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. Come Home, and it's a game about where your character comes home, and there's not a lot of traditional characters in that. There's no traditional, like, you're basically wandering through a house trying to figure out what happens. And you come home to this empty house. It's a similar game, I think, to a game like Journey, a game like Flower, a game like Dear Esther, a game like Flow, where you have a start point, you have an end point, and you have a path, but that path is your path to take. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's not a linear storyline where it says, oh, okay, well, you just done this. Now you need to go to this spot in order to ignite the next part of the story. It's purely from your own curiosity.
Right, and it's storytelling in a prettier, more thought-provoking process, I thought. Because I haven't played it, but I watched Renee's playthrough when she played it without any commentary, and I thought it was really good. And that whole game reminded me of both Flower and Journey, and a game that's meant to be played in an hour and a half, multiple times. It's meant to invoke emotion. For those of you that haven't played Journey, basically you're this being that kind of travels through the forest of life, so to speak, and you do all these things, and it represents all kinds of different things. And flowers are kind of the same way. You start as a single petal, bloom from a flower, and you go through the level, hitting other flowers, changing the music, going through different areas and settings, and it's just really an emotional type of game, and I think that this was kind of on par, and I really like these games.
I cried.
Interactive art pieces. You cried.
I cried forever after watching that game. Because I didn't get to play it. I actually watched Gone Home. Or what is it?
It's Gone Home.
Gone Home. I had it written down as Come Home. I was like, what?
Okay.
There was a
Gone
moment
Home.
of confusion. But yeah, I actually watched Renee's playthrough as well. And I don't know, it was one of those games that really just hits you.
It's emotional.
And it's amazing. So if you haven't checked it out, or if you don't feel like playing it, then feel free to watch it, because it's one of those games that you can watch and you can still really, really enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
An interactive art piece.
Yeah,
that's a movie somewhat.
It's a good word for it. It's an interactive movie or art piece. I like that. It's sort of I don't want to say it's a hipster game, but it's a artsy, different,
It's like
out
a
of the box performance.
art thing.
Yeah,
It's supposed to interpret it your own
it's kind of like
ways.
an interpretive game. Yeah, and I mean, I would love to have more of these, but that was probably the greatest $15 investment I've ever made, was getting Flower, Flow, and Journey for $15 at GameStop that one time I did. Best investment I've ever made. But
Yeah, they're not games, are they? I guess.
they are
Well,
sort of.
are they? I don't know.
I'll call it. How about we compromise on an interactive movie?
Yeah. I guess so. That's pretty much it. I haven't watched it yet, actually. I've been meaning to get around to it. I watched playthroughs of Dear Esther and found it kind of boring to watch. If I was actually playing it myself, I'm sure it would have been a lot more enjoyable. So I'll try out Gone Home on Renee's channel. So yeah.
Did you
I'll
ever play Journey?
I haven't played it actually. No.
Have you watched it at all?
I've seen some of it. Yeah, I saw coverage when they showed it at expos.
Mm-hmm.
But that was it. I'm not really one for these, to be honest. I don't feel like I have enough time to kind of dictate to them. The reason I play games like Call of Duty is that I can pick it up, and when I'm done, I can just go out with it in 10 minutes, play a game for 10 minutes, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I have a lot of free time at the moment, I don't like investing myself in them. I don't know why. I've been playing Chrono Cross, but I haven't been really sitting down with it for like hours on end. It's been like an hour at a time, which is maybe if this would be good for me then, if it's only like an hour and a half-ish long. See what kind of feels it makes me feel. But something needs to get me into these games, because at the moment they're not that interesting to me. They're interesting. They're just not for me, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Say what you will. Yeah. Basically, I'm rambling.
All right, well, I guess we'll conclude this episode with our final topic as usual. What are you looking forward to playing, buying, having in the next 2 weeks?
GTA 5 comes out in the next 2 weeks.
Yes.
I feel like I'm the only person in the history of the world not getting this game at launch.
What's wrong with you?
I haven't pre-ordered it yet, but I'll do it soon. I will do it soon.
Part of me wants to, but part of me just looks at my shelf with all these games that I have that I haven't even... I've got 3 games on my shelf I haven't even taken out of the wrapper yet.
Yeah, well, I don't know. With Grand Theft Auto, I feel like there's a lot to this game. Like, you can... do.
Yeah, and that's part of, I think, what scares me is that there's so much to do. I'm going to feel like... I mean, here, I still have stuff with wrappers on the shelf, and here I have 3 games coming in the middle of November that I'm going to have, like, no time to play. I'm taking a day off work to try to beat Assassin's Creed 4 in one day.
In one day?
In one day. 12
Okay.
hours. I'm gonna go at midnight on Sunday or midnight on Thursday, pick up the game, come home, go straight to bed, wake up at 7, and try to hopefully have it beat by 7 or 8 o'clock that night.
It's crazy. Are you gonna do a playthrough?
I'm not gonna
playthrough.
record it. I'm just gonna play it for me. But I like to do those games in one sitting.
12 hours. Record your descent into madness.
Maybe
If
I'll
it's
keep
bad.
maybe
If
I'll
it's
keep
as
a
bad as
camera on my
Assassin's
face.
Creed 3. Yeah.
Oh, I loved AC3. I loved it so much.
It kind of
Crystal?
died out for me.
Well, I'm a big American history buff, so that's probably the main reason. And the ships.
I
The
guess you're
ships.
gonna love Black Flag then.
Yeah, because I mean it's mostly pirates, ships, and I bought the extra ship missions because I wanted more, and it was like $15. But I bought the collector's edition of that, and I bought the collector's edition of this. But we talked more about that. Crystal, what are you also excited about?
My mind is only filled with Grand Theft Auto. That is the only thing that exists right now is my excitement for this game. Because this is the Grand Theft Auto that I feel like I've always wanted since I first started playing Grand Theft Auto.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I feel like it's the kind of game that I'm gonna do a Call of Duty on and only play multiplayer.
exactly.
And
I
like I
hate
did that with
people
Red
like
Dead
that.
as well. I did that with Red Dead. Like I haven't really played that game to death. I hardly played the campaign. I just went
Oh,
online.
Red Dead was
played
so
it.
good.
Um,
See, I'm a story-driven person, and I love the stories of Call of Duty. Man, I've played the Call of Duty single player like 3 times. Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, I've played twice. Modern Warfare 3, I played twice. Modern Warfare 2, I played like 5 times.
I don't think I've finished a Call of Duty multiplayer since Call of Duty 2.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't bother finishing Modern Warfare 2. It was boring. Modern Warfare 3 I started, boring. Haven't touched the campaign of Black Ops 2. No, I did actually. I played the first level when the servers were down, and that was it.
Hmm.
And I thought it was shit.
Oh,
So
I just
Yeah.
I'm beside myself right now hearing this.
You're insulting Shady.
I just don't think they're that good, the Call of Duty single players. I'm not invested in the characters like I know a lot of
That's
people
the
are.
problem, I think. The second one is made by the first ones. The first one was really good, and that one made Modern Warfare 2's characters, and they always start out slow because you always start out in the pit, and then you go do this kind of stupid little dank mission, and then it starts to get good until the third mission, but you really have to know what's going on. And 2, Modern Warfare 1 and 2 are very much American, and I think that plays a part in it for me because
Yeah.
the thing that makes Modern Warfare 2 so exciting for me is that there are a lot of American streets, cities, buildings that I know and recognize because I know the layout of Washington D.C. I know what Alexandria, Virginia looks like. I've been there. I know what the White House looks like on the inside, and it was kind of cool to get to fight in there. And I know what LA looks like, and being like, oh, I know what that building is. I know exactly where that building is. I've stood right there where that guy got blown up. That's what's exciting for me is, and that's maybe why Call of Duty 2 and 3 are not that exciting for me because they happen over faraway places and places I don't know anything about.
Well, I feel like I saw people on Reddit talking about Assassin's Creed. I think 2 is set in Florence, isn't it? People
Something
talking
like
about how they would go to Florence and they know places because they've been there in the game.
Right.
And that feels like a much more visceral experience because it's a much more
Right, and that's
exploration type of game than Call of Duty, though.
Well,
I feel like Call of Duty, the multiplayers look single players like Dynasty Warriors. You're just killing wave of enemy after enemy. That's what I felt like doing it.
Well, yeah, because you don't have the same experience I have, and you don't recognize, oh, that's the Luxembourg Hotel, or that's the
like,
Watergate building, or whatever.
As much as you look at that, then you've got to look forward, and you're just killing wave after wave of enemy who are trying their best to miss you. It seems like, I don't know, it wasn't challenging in the sense that you could die, like you definitely could die, but there was never anything invested in it, like for me. Never.
Yeah.
I don't even care because Grand Theft Auto.
Well,
Grand Theft Auto,
you guys are going to be playing Grand Theft Auto when it comes out on, what is that, the 20th? I'll probably 17th. I'm sorry.
Even sooner.
I'll be playing probably Saints Row 4 at that time. I finished a handful of games. I'm gonna get some videos done, and I'll probably start playing Saints Row 4 for myself, and I'm gonna play some Dead Rising 2 at some point in the near future. So I'm excited about playing Saints Row because that game, what I've seen the first like hour of it, and I loved it, and it was hilarious, and I can't wait to play it through for myself.
Yeah. Oh, I know what else I'm looking forward to.
What's
I'm getting PlayStation Plus soon, so lots of games I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
I think Saints Row the Third is on there at the moment. PlayStation Plus for free.
Yeah, I have that. I have that for Xbox, and I haven't even played it yet.
Yeah, I guess you probably wouldn't feel the need to go back and play it if you got Saints Row 4 now.
Yeah, I know. I'm seriously thinking about just turning it in for like a little bit of cash because I don't think I'm ever going to play it now that I have Saints Row 4.
Put it towards GTA 4, GTA 5 rather.
Or I could put it towards the some $68 I still owe on various stuff.
Yeah. Well, NHL 14 comes out on the 13th, I think.
Mm-hmm.
If I had money, I'd get that.
Yeah, well, I'm going to get that for PS4 if I get it. I'm not going to get anything else for PS3.
No.
Well, unless it's PS3.
It
I'm not done with it, but like I'm considering getting Ghost for PS3 just because there's a lot of people I know that aren't going to get it for the PS4 that'll get it for the PS3, and I'll want to play with those people. But other than that, I'll be getting it for the PS4 from now on, unless there's a lot of people getting it for the PS3.
It goes to show the kind of risk that was taken with The Last of Us being released so late on
Right.
in the current gen's life cycle. But I know you love that game. So.
Oh, I did so much. That's one of them I'm going to probably buy at some point. I'm going to buy Remember Me at some point. That looks really good. It looks really fun, but I'm going to wait for the price point to drop on that.
Isn't that a game that looked interesting in the trailers that came out years ago? A couple years ago,
and then like they
it's
took
really
like
different.
they took 10 years to make it, and now it's a little different.
It's not even the game that was shown.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, but I know that it looks really cool. It's kind of a Neo Paris kind of a thing, and I'm excited about that with Memories. And then there's that game that Ellen Page was in. What was the name of that game?
Beyond Two Souls?
Yes, that one. That looked interesting.
Well, you're missing out on Willem Dafoe. Come on, he's a much better actor.
But Ellen Page, the things I would like to take her to do.
La 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 la.
I'd get rid of her. I just like.
You don't like Ellen Page, Crystal?
She annoys me.
I like Ellen Page. I don't want to know what you want to do to her.
I would take her to the movies and dinner and treat her like a nice, lovely.
Take her out to a nice steak
What are you
dinner.
talking about?
Bullshit.
Ellen Page is the kind of person that you treat to a nice dinner of her choosing.
She's gonna give you.
Where is your mind, Crystal?
My mind.
Do you think I'm a terrible person?
You imagined Playboy earlier.
Well, that is not my fault.
Playboys, not Playgirls.
Well, I was involved in the picturing of the Playboy moments.
As in, not Playboy bunnies, as in, will be Playboys like Hugh Hefner.
Well, I didn't take that to mean that, but okay.
You both had a different image to me. I was imagining going around in smoking jackets with cigars.
I could do that, but yeah. We've tangented enough, I think. I think it's just time to call this episode close. This has been episode 6 of CrashCast. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I guess we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.
Boy.